I was a young boy sitting on the couch, watching music television, listening to I Saw the Sign. It opened up my eyes, I saw the sign. Regulators! Hold up! It was the clear black moon. It was the clear white night. Some. He took my rings. He took my Rolex. I looked up. The brother said, dang, what's next? What a man, what a man, what a man. What a mighty good man. Mr. Obispo, what a good man. Before rum colas, before Red Bulls, before Monster, before those energy colas, I came out these Salem scholars. I used to write poetry between parabolas. Mr. Holmes knew I wrote poems on tops of isosceles. Had my own philosophies, no apologies. A young Socrates, grew up on Wu-Tang Clan. I used to cop colorful wallabies, along with New Balance and Saucony's. Now I eat Japanese sushi, sakura, feel my auras. I explore the world like Dora. Horror, yeah, I spit art pieces. I guess I'm like a lyrical Alberto Jamora. You're a more than welcome to come along, pick a song, sing along, come a chameleon. Still in the same town, graduated the same year them towers came down. Post 9/11, even in recession, I ain't stressing. It's a blessing waking up to running water. No sons, no daughters, don't bother me with your nonsense. Somebody feed me some truth with some content. Yeah, life is good, uncle. We are far from the jungle. Mount Pinatubo, the archipelago. My father left a long time ago. No, I don't speak Tagalog, so these soap operas in the living room are hard to follow. Life about Luzon was rarely brought up in my home, though. Homework was a big concern. So I can tell you the history of African Americans, but the battle about Ta'an was something I need not to learn. The battle about Ta'an was something I need not to learn. Manungs, Filipinos at Andalano was something I need not to learn. The Philippine Rebellion, Lapu-Lapu, Magellan, something I needed not to learn. Something I needed not to learn. My father said the American curriculum are the pages you're going to turn. The American curriculum are the pages you're going to turn. So through high school and college, the American curriculum I learned. Yeah! Guess what I learned about today? Lyndon B. Johnson. Lyndon B. Johnson. Lyndon B. Johnson. Bear with me. I was really excited last night, and I wrote out the 1964 Civil Rights legislation. Just hang on. The year is 1964. The Great Society, the War on Poverty, LBJ begins his initiatives on the working poor. My father at the time was stationed along the San Diego and Long Beach shores. This was before my father had met my mom. Through a conversation, I learned about through my father made 3 deployments to Vietnam. My new phenom. At the kitchen table, my father was able to start talking about the Gulf of Tonkin. I was originally wanting to know more about his life during the era of the civil rights, but that night, he chose to speak extensively about the big fight. See, my entire life, I thought my father was just a steward, a cook, because that's what I researched, that's what I read in these books. I read that in the 1960s, Filipinos were not allowed to serve as officers or high-ranking officials. So obviously, I thought my father had to be one of those subservient servants serving in these mess halls. But that night, I learned something new. My father started to recall his orders while working at the general quarters. I learned he played a pivotal role in the war for the soldiers, the Marines. My father said he loaded artillery machines, 5-inch, 54 cannons, handing them to gunner-mate brigades, preparing shore bombardments, bombing bridges built by the Viet Cong. And all along, I thought my father was just a cook. That's what I read in these books. My father was 2 miles offshore, loading 80-pound projectiles gunpowder that would devour VCs. He recalled divers diving by the hour, diving underneath the destroyer, just in case the sea bombs were not planted. My father handed crude oil, handled ammunition to his working party without aborting his mission. With casualty debris in his vision, he still remained loyal to America. Continued to connect gas nozzles and pull lines from those oilers. So this is for my dad and all Filipino veterans, because now I know you were more than just cooks on those destroyers. Lyndon B. Johnson. Lyndon B. Johnson. Peace. So right here, that is my dad right there. I shot this maybe 3 or 4 months ago really easy. I just pushed record, and it was probably one of the best 45 minutes of my life. I never spoke to my dad. I probably would never known that about my father's history, because in the books, they just say he's a cook. So I got to give it to FACS and FARMS to teaching me how to document, and our story is important. If it wasn't probably for FACS, I'll probably still be rapping about big booties and gold chains. So, yeah, so this is my last piece, and really just sharing my story. For those of you who don't know, I was fortunate to travel a lot of colleges, and it was due to FACS allowing me to like find my true story. This is my last piece, thank you. My father is the coolest. He roast lumpias at the kitchen table, periodically tapping his 2 fingers in the bowl of water while telling stories to his granddaughter. As she peels the lumpia wrappers back flat on the glass, she laughs as my father recollects his past adolescence. The presence of my father's storytelling brings the family together. My father is the coolest. He used to pack 2 coolers full of iced, thinly sliced ham and cheese sandwiches with Coke and Sprite. And if you dig down deep enough, you might even reach last night's leftover pancit. My mother would sit passenger, passing him a bottle of water and potato chips. He would make 15-hour road trips seem like the distance from here to Norfolk, Virginia. My father is the coolest. I remember him sitting at the table, flipping through the big yellow pages, booking rooms through the holiday reservationists. My father's patience. We would awaken to pancakes, scrambled eggs, corned beef and bacon before taking a fantastic voyage to see Mickey Mouse and Goofy. Truthfully, my father is the coolest. He does yard work wearing my old Adidas and Pumas. Boy, these are still good, man. I bought those Stan Smiths in the 10th grade, Dad. My father, gardener slash carpenter slash a lot of things slash my childhood barber. Buzz cuts in the garage. Daddy gave me a rat tail for being above average according to the Virginia Beach grading scale. My father is the coolest. In the early 90s, my father grew impalaya in the backyard. Uncle and auntie would drop off calamansi. They would end up trading vegetables and stories, chismising about their children. Tilapia was on the grill. The crabs were still crawling. Oh yeah, he was also a fisherman. Our stomachs were always filled. Still, he never spoke much then. Even today, when I ask about the Philippines, he seems kind of hesitant to relinquish his early beginnings. All I know is he petitioned his parents and siblings, and through the military we became Virginians. The rest of the Mercado family reside on that west side. My cousins and I always try to make visiting plans. They're like, Kuya Marco, when you gonna come visit, man? I tell them soon, but for now we just follow each other on Instagram. Peace.